Dad, do we have to go to Aunt Rebecca's wedding? My daughter Lily's voice was small. She was staring at her cereal, pushing Cheerios around the bowl in slow circles. Of course we do, sweetie. It's family. That was a lie. Not about it being family. About the of course part. Because every cell in my body was screaming at me to keep my 10-year-old daughter as far away from my ex-wife's family as possible. But Grandma Karen will be there. The way she said it. That tiny crack in her voice. That's when I knew I'd already failed her too many times. I know, Lily. She'll say things again. I won't let her. Another lie. I've been letting her for 3 years. 3 years of constructive criticism. 3 years of just trying to help. 3 years of watching my daughter's light dim a little more each time we attended a family event. My ex-wife Sarah and I had been divorced for those 3 years. Joint custody, 50-50. Sarah got remarried 8 months ago to some finance guy named Todd. I stayed single, focused on being there for Lily. But Sarah's mother, Karen, never forgave me for the divorce. In her eyes, I was the one who destroyed her daughter's perfect life. The truth was Sarah had an affair. But Karen didn't know that. Sarah made sure of it. In Karen's narrative, I was the bad guy who abandoned her daughter. And Lily, by extension, was damaged goods. Evidence of a failed marriage. I started noticing it about a year ago. Small comments. Lily, honey, you'd be so pretty if you smiled more. Girls from broken homes often look so sad. Maybe if you tried harder in school, your parents would have stayed together. Don't eat too much cake, sweetheart. You're already getting a little chunky. We don't want you to have trouble finding a husband like your mother did the second time around. That last one was at Lily's 9th birthday party. 18 kids there, 6 parents. Everyone heard it. Sarah laughed it off. Mom, stop. But she was smiling, like it was just vintage Karen being Karen. I wanted to say something. I should have said something. But Lily grabbed my hand and squeezed it so tight. Her knuckles went white. She looked up at me with these eyes that said, please don't make it worse. So I didn't. I started recording things instead. Nothing obvious, just my phone, voice memo app, in my pocket during family events. I told myself I was gathering evidence in case I needed it for custody modifications. But really, I was just a coward, too afraid of conflict to protect my daughter in the moment. Too weak to stand up to a 62-year-old woman who wore pearls and volunteered at the church. The wedding was on a Saturday in June. Outdoor venue, some restored barn in Connecticut, 200 guests. Sarah's sister Rebecca was marrying a guy named Marcus. Good guy, actually. I'd met him a few times. He treated Lily well. We arrived at 2:30. Ceremony started at 3. Lily wore a yellow dress she'd picked out herself. She looked beautiful. She also looked terrified. Remember, I told her in the parking lot, if anyone says anything that makes you uncomfortable, you come find me immediately. I don't care if I'm talking to the president. You are my priority. Always. She nodded. But I could see she didn't believe me. Why would she? I'd said similar things before. And then I'd stood there silent while her grandmother told her she walked funny, talked too much, wasn't as smart as her cousins. The ceremony was fine. Beautiful, actually. Rebecca looked happy. Marcus cried during his vows. Lily sat next to me, swinging her legs, occasionally whispering observations about the flowers. The bridesmaids' dresses, whether the flower girl was going to drop the basket. Normal kid stuff. That's all I wanted for her. Normal. The reception was in a huge white tent behind the barn. Round tables, string lights, a DJ already setting up. Lily found the table with her name card. Table 7. I was at table 12, separated. Sarah's doing, probably, or Karen's. You okay sitting with the cousins? I asked. She looked at the table. Sarah's brother's kids. 2 boys, 12 and 14. They'd always ignored Lily. Not mean, just indifferent. Typical teenage boys. I'll be fine, she said. I'm right over there. You can see me. I know, Dad. I kissed the top of her head and went to my table. Divorced parents of the bride at table 12. Sarah's father, Tom, was already there. Good man, kind. He gave me a nod. Bill, good to see you. You too, Tom. We shook hands. Made small talk about work, the weather, the wedding. He asked about Lily. He always asked about Lily. Tom was one of the good ones. Sometimes I wondered if he knew what his wife was doing to his granddaughter. I wanted to believe he didn't. It was easier that way. The cocktail hour ended. People found their seats. Speeches began. Rebecca's maid of honor went first. Funny stories, some tears. Then Marcus's best man. More tears. A joke about Marcus's terrible cooking. Then Sarah stood up. My stomach dropped. Sarah wasn't supposed to give a speech. The rehearsal dinner, sure. But not the reception. This wasn't on the program. She tapped her champagne glass with a fork. The room quieted. Hi everyone. I know I'm not on the official speech list, but I wanted to say a few words about my baby sister. People smiled. A few awe sounds. Sarah was good at this. Charming. Everyone loved her. It's how she got away with everything. Rebecca and I grew up very close. She was my best friend, my confidant. And when I went through my divorce 3 years ago, Rebecca was the one who held me together. My jaw clenched. Tom glanced at me, apologetic. She reminded me that families go through changes, that sometimes people aren't who we thought they were. A few people glanced my way. Subtle. But I saw it. But through it all, Rebecca taught me something important. She taught me that blood matters. That no matter what mistakes we make, family is forever. She paused, smiled at Rebecca, turned slightly, looked directly at Lily. And speaking of family, I want to acknowledge someone special today. My daughter, Lily. Every head turned to table 7. Lily froze. Her face went red. Lily, sweetheart, stand up. This wasn't normal. This wasn't a typical proud mom moment. Something in Sarah's tone. Something performative. Lily slowly stood. She looked at me. I tried to smile encouragingly. Inside, every alarm in my head was screaming. Lily is 10 years old, and she's had to deal with a lot of change in her young life. Changes that weren't her fault. Changes caused by adult decisions. What the fuck was she doing? But I want everyone here to know how proud I am of Lily. Despite everything, despite coming from a broken home, despite all the challenges that come with that, people shifted in their seats. Uncomfortable. This was weird even by wedding speech standards. And I know it's been hard on her, seeing other kids with both parents together, wondering why her family couldn't stay intact, wondering what she did wrong. Lily's eyes filled with tears. I started to stand. Tom put a hand on my arm. Bill, don't, not here. Tom, I know. But making a scene will make it worse for Lily. He was right. I sat back down. Hated myself for it. But I want Lily to know, Sarah continued, that even though her father and I couldn't make it work, she will always have this family. The Morgans. And we will always be here for her. To guide her. To correct her when she strays. To make sure she doesn't make the same mistakes her parents did. Then Karen stood up. No. Karen walked to the microphone. Sarah handed it to her like they'd planned this. They'd fucking planned this. Thank you, Sarah. I want to add something, if I may. Rebecca looked confused. Marcus looked uncomfortable. But no one stopped her. You don't stop Karen Morgan at a family event. It's not how their family worked. Lily, sweetheart, come up here. Lily looked at me. Panicked. I stood up. Tom grabbed my arm harder. Bill, please. Lily, it's okay, Karen called out. Come on up. Don't be shy. 200 people watching. Waiting. Lily's cousins at her table were staring at her. One of them gave her a little push. Go on. She walked to the front. Small steps, yellow dress, hands shaking. Karen put her arm around Lily's shoulders. Pulled her close. Smiled at the crowd. I want to share something about my granddaughter. Because I think it's important. I think it will help people here understand something about family values, about commitment, about the consequences of selfish choices. I was moving before I realized it. Tom called my name. I didn't care. Karen continued. Lily is a beautiful girl. Smart, talented, but she carries a burden. She carries the mark of her parents' failure. I was halfway across the tent. And I think it's important that she knows, that everyone knows, that while we love her, we can't pretend that burden doesn't exist. I was 10 feet away. Karen reached into her clutch, pulled out a Sharpie marker. Black. Lily, hold still, sweetheart. The tent went silent. Lily looked at me. I was running now. Karen uncapped the marker. Let's make sure everyone knows what you are. She pressed the marker to Lily's forehead. I grabbed her wrist. Hard. The marker dropped. Black ink splattered on the white tent floor. Don't touch. My daughter. Karen's face went white. then read. How dare you? How dare I? My voice was loud, too loud. I didn't care. How dare you humiliate a 10-year-old child in front of 200 people? Sarah rushed over. Bill, calm down. Mom was just trying to teach her. Teach her what, Sarah? That she's not good enough? That she's broken? She's 10 fucking years old. Gasps. The F word at a wedding. I was making a scene. Everything Tom warned me not to do. I looked down at Lily, tears streaming down her face, shaking. I knelt down, looked into her eyes. It's the right time, I said quietly. Just to her. She nodded. She understood. I'd told her this phrase before. It meant I'm done being silent. I'm fighting now. I stood up, pulled out my phone, opened my voice memos. The collection I'd been building for a year. 47 recordings. Hours of Karen's comments. Sarah's laugh-it-off responses. The pattern of systematic emotional abuse disguised as family love. I connected my phone to the DJ's speaker system. The DJ looked at me like I was crazy. I ignored him. Hit play on a compilation I'd made. Just in case. 6 minutes of the worst hits. Karen's voice filled the tent. Maybe, if you weren't so awkward, Lily, kids would want to play with you. You really should lose some weight, honey. Boys don't like chubby girls. If you were smarter, you could get into the gifted program, like your cousins. But I suppose not everyone can be special. Girls from broken homes usually end up broken themselves. It's just statistics. You walk like a boy. You need to be more feminine. No one will want to marry you if you act like that. 200 people listening. Some covered their mouths. Some shook their heads. One woman stood up and left. The recording played. Karen's face went from red to white to gray. Sarah tried to grab my phone. I held it up. Don't. Turn it off, Bill. This is inappropriate. What's inappropriate is what you've let your mother do to our daughter for a year. The recording ended. The tent was silent, except for someone crying. I looked around. It was Tom. Sarah's father was crying. Dad, Sarah started. Not now, Sarah. Tom's voice was broken. I looked at Karen. You will never speak to my daughter again. You will never contact her. You will not attend her school events, her birthday parties, nothing. If you even look at her, I will file a restraining order so fast it will make your head spin. You can't. I have a year of documented evidence of you emotionally abusing a child. My lawyer has heard all of it, so has Child Protective Services. I filed a report 3 days ago. They're opening an investigation into whether Sarah's home is safe for Lily. Sarah's face went pale. You called CPS on me? I called CPS on your mother. But you're the one who enabled her. You're the one who laughed. You're the one who let this happen. I picked up Lily. She wrapped her arms around my neck, buried her face in my shoulder. I carried her out of the tent. Tom followed us. Bill, wait. I turned. Tom was still crying. I didn't know, he said. I swear to God, I didn't know it was that bad. I believe you, Tom. Can I still see her, Lily? I looked at Lily. Do you want to see Grandpa Tom? She nodded against my shoulder. Then, yes. You can see her, but Karen is never allowed near her again. Tom nodded. Understood. I'm so sorry, Bill. I'm so sorry I didn't see it. I carried Lily to my car, buckled her into her seat. She was still crying, soft, hiccuping sobs. I'm sorry, baby, I said. I should have done that a long time ago. It's okay, Dad. It's not okay. I let her hurt you. I was scared of making things worse. Scared of being the bad guy. But you know what? Sometimes being the bad guy to them means being the good guy to you. And you're the only one who matters. She hugged me. Tight. Can we go home? We can go home. The fallout started the next day. Sarah called me 17 times. I didn't answer. She sent texts, angry at first, then defensive, then begging me not to file for emergency custody modification. Too late. I'd already filed. Karen tried to call me. Blocked. She showed up at my house. I called the police. They removed her. She tried to claim I was keeping her from her granddaughter. I showed them the recordings. They told her to leave. The story spread through their family like wildfire. Rebecca called me, apologized for her mother's behavior. Said she had no idea the speech was planned. Said she'd cut her honeymoon short to deal with the family crisis. Don't, I told her. This isn't your fault. Enjoy your honeymoon. This is between me, Sarah, and Karen. Tom called every day to check on Lily. He was devastated. He'd separated from Karen, moved into a hotel, said he couldn't look at her the same way. The CPS investigation moved fast. They interviewed Lily, interviewed Sarah's neighbors, pulled school records. Lily's teacher reported that Lily had seemed increasingly withdrawn over the past year. The school counselor had noted concerning comments Lily had made about not being good enough. Sarah's lawyer tried to fight it, claimed I was making mountains out of molehills, that Karen was just old-fashioned, that I was vindictive because of the divorce. My lawyer played the recordings in court. The judge was a woman in her 50s. She listened to all 6 minutes, didn't say a word. When it ended, she looked at Sarah. "Mrs. Patterson, did you ever intervene when your mother made these comments to your daughter?" She was just joking. My mother has a dark sense of humor. Did your daughter find it funny?" Sarah didn't answer. "Mrs. Patterson, did your daughter ever express distress to you about these comments?" "She's sensitive. She overreacts." "Answer the question. Did she express distress?" "Yes. Sometimes." "And what did you do?" "I told her to toughen up. The world isn't nice. She needs to learn to handle criticism." The judge removed her glasses. "She's 10 years old." 3 weeks later, I had full primary custody. Sarah got supervised visitation. Karen was prohibited from being present during any visitations. Sarah was required to complete a parenting course and family therapy. Sarah was furious. She hired a different lawyer, filed an appeal. It went nowhere. The recordings were damning. Her own words were damning. The real fallout, though, was social. Someone at the wedding had recorded my confrontation with Karen, posted it on Facebook. It went viral. Hundreds of thousands of views. Comments poured in. "This is what covert narcissistic abuse looks like. That poor child." Thank God, her father finally stood up. I experienced this exact thing from my grandmother. No one believed me. Local news picked it up, then regional news. By the end of the month, I was being contacted by parenting blogs, family psychology podcasts, legal reform advocates. Karen tried to do damage control. Posted on social media about how she was misunderstood, how the recordings were taken out of context, how I was an unfit father trying to alienate her from her granddaughter. It backfired. Spectacularly, people who'd known Karen for years came forward with their own stories. Women from her church, neighbors, former friends. A pattern emerged. Karen had been doing this for decades, targeting vulnerable people, disguising cruelty as concern. Her volunteer position at the church was quietly revoked. Her book club asked her to leave. Her tennis club membership wasn't renewed. Sarah's business took a hit too. She was a real estate agent. High-end properties. Image was everything. Having a viral video of your mother trying to write on your child's forehead with a Sharpie at a wedding? Not great for business. She lost 3 major clients in 2 weeks. Tom filed for divorce 6 weeks after the wedding. I didn't celebrate any of this. I didn't want Karen destroyed. I just wanted Lily safe. But there were consequences. Natural consequences. When you hurt people, especially children, publicly, people remember. The therapy helped. Lily started seeing Dr. Patricia Chen, wonderful woman, specialized in children from high-conflict families. At first, Lily barely talked, just sat there, playing with the fidget toys in Dr. Chen's office. But slowly, she opened up. She told Dr. Chen things she'd never told me. About how she thought the divorce was her fault. How she tried to be perfect so maybe her parents would get back together. How every comment from Karen felt like proof that she was the problem. I thought if I was better, Grandma would like me. And if Grandma liked me, Mom would be happier. And if Mom was happier, you and Mom would get back together. My heart broke. Dr. Chen told me this is common. Kids create magical thinking narratives to explain things beyond their control. You have to tell her explicitly, Dr. Chen said. Over and over. None of this was her fault. Not the divorce, not Karen's abuse, nothing. So, I did. Every night before bed. Lily, the divorce was not your fault. It was about problems between Mom and me. You are perfect exactly as you are. Months passed. Lily started smiling more, laughing more. She joined the school musical, got a part as a townsperson in The Music Man. Small role. She was so proud. I went to every rehearsal I was allowed to watch. Every performance. Front row. Tom came too. He'd rebuild his relationship with Lily slowly. Carefully, never pushing, always asking permission. Sarah's supervised visits were awkward. Lily was polite but distant. Sarah tried too hard, brought elaborate gifts, planned expensive outings. She's trying to buy me back, Lily told Dr. Chin. Dr. Chin asked how that made her feel. Tired, Lily said. 6 months after the wedding, Sarah completed her parenting course and therapy requirements. She petitioned for unsupervised visitation. The court granted it on the condition that Karen not be present and that Lily continue weekly therapy. The first unsupervised visit, Sarah took Lily to a museum. Then, lunch, called me afterward, crying. She barely talked to me, Bill. I'm her mother. Why won't she talk to me? Because you let someone hurt her for a year and told her she was overreacting. I didn't think it was that serious. You didn't want to think it was that serious. There's a difference. She was quiet for a long time. How do I fix this? I don't know if you can. But if you want to try, you need to actually apologize to her. Not, I'm sorry you felt hurt, a real apology. Take accountability. Tell her you were wrong. Tell her you should have protected her. And mean it. I don't know if she'll believe me. That's not up to you. That's up to her. 2 weeks later, Sarah asked if she could talk to Lily at my house. I said yes. Sat in the next room, close enough to intervene if needed. I heard Sarah crying, heard her apologize, heard her tell Lily that she'd failed her as a mother, that she'd chosen her mother's feelings over her daughter's well-being, that she was ashamed. I heard Lily ask, "Why did you let Grandma be mean to me?" Long pause. Because she was mean to me when I was your age too, and I thought that's just how she was. I thought I'd turn out fine. I thought you would too. But I wasn't fine, Mom. I was sad all the time. I know, baby. I know. And I'm so sorry. It wasn't a magic fix. Lily didn't forgive Sarah immediately, but it was a start. A year after the wedding, Rebecca reached out. Asked if Lily would want to attend her 1-year anniversary party. Small gathering. Just close friends and family. I asked Lily, "Will Grandma Karen be there?" No. Rebecca assured me she's not invited. Lily thought about it. Okay, but only if you come too, Dad. We went. It was nice. Low-key. Barbecue in Rebecca and Marcus's backyard. Lily played with their dog. Ate too much potato salad. Smiled. Rebecca pulled me aside. "Thank you for coming. Thanks for the invitation. I owe you an apology too. I knew Mom was hard on Lily. I just didn't realize how bad it was. I should have said something. You didn't know. I should have known. I should have paid attention." She looked at Lily, laughing at something Marcus said. "She seems good," Rebecca said. "She's getting there." 2 years after the wedding, Tom remarried. A woman named Linda. Kind, gentle, she treated Lily like her own granddaughter. Lily called her Grandma Linda within 6 months. Sarah asked if she could bring Lily to Thanksgiving, just the two of them. I said yes. They went to Sarah's apartment, made turkey, watched movies. Lily came home happy. Said Mom told her about the affair, about why the marriage really ended, about how she'd lied to Grandma Karen to protect herself and ended up letting that lie hurt Lily. She said she's in therapy now, Lily told me. Real therapy, not just the court-ordered stuff. How do you feel about that? I think it's good. I think maybe she's trying. 3 years after the wedding, I got a letter. From Karen. I almost threw it away without reading it. But something made me open it. It was an apology. 12 pages. Handwritten. She didn't make excuses. Didn't blame anyone. Just took responsibility. Said she'd been in intensive therapy for 2 years. Said she'd been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. Said she was working on it, but knew that didn't undo the harm. Said she didn't expect forgiveness. Didn't expect to have a relationship with Lily. Just wanted us to know she was getting help. That she understood what she'd done. The letter ended with, "Lily deserves a grandmother who builds her up instead of tearing her down." I couldn't be that person. I may never be that person. But I'm trying to at least understand why. I'm sorry I hurt her. I'm sorry I hurt you. You were right to protect her. I showed the letter to Dr. Chin. "What do you think?" she asked. "I think she means it. I also think it's too late. Do you want to show Lily?" I thought about it. Not yet. Maybe when she's older. Maybe never. This isn't about Karen's redemption. It's about Lily's healing. Good answer. Today, Lily is 13. She's on the soccer team. Gets mostly A's. has a friend group that seems healthy and kind, still sees Dr. Chen once a month. Sometimes she has hard days. Sometimes she asks questions about why Grandma Karen didn't love her. She did love you, I tell her. She just didn't know how to love you in a healthy way. Her love was broken, but that wasn't your fault. Some people's love is like that. Do you think she'll ever be normal? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Because you have people who love you the right way. Me, Grandpa Tom, Grandma Linda, Dr. Chen, your friends, your teachers. That's what matters. Sarah and Lily's relationship is better. Not perfect. Probably never will be perfect. But honest. Sarah calls every Wednesday, sees Lily every other weekend, came to every soccer game this season. Tom asked me recently if I regretted the way I handled things at the wedding. Should have done it sooner, I said. You think you should have made a scene earlier? I think I should have protected her earlier. The scene was just the symptom of me finally finding my spine. He nodded. You know the family still talks about it. I bet. Some people think you were too harsh. Good. Maybe they'll think twice before they let someone abuse a kid in front of them. Last week, Lily asked me about the recording. She's old enough now to understand that I'd been gathering evidence. You knew it was bad, she said. For a whole year. And you just recorded it? Yes. Why didn't you stop her sooner? It's the question I've asked myself 1,000 times. I was scared. I was worried about making things worse. I was worried the court wouldn't believe me. I was worried about being the bad guy. I had a lot of excuses. But the truth is, I should have protected you sooner. I'm sorry I didn't. She was quiet for a moment. Then she hugged me. It's okay, Dad. You protected me when it mattered. It should have mattered sooner. Yeah, but you did it eventually. Some kids never get that. She's right. Some kids never get protected. Some kids grow up thinking they deserve the cruelty. Not my kid. 3 years after that wedding, I still have the recordings. Backed up in 3 places. I'll never delete them. Not because I'm vindictive, but because Lily might need them someday. When she's older. When she questions her memories. When she wonders if it really was that bad. It was that bad. But she survived it. And she's thriving now. Last night, she was doing homework at the kitchen table. I was making dinner. Out of nowhere, she said, Dad, thank you for the thing at Aunt Rebecca's wedding. You don't have to thank me for that. I know. But I want to. You stood up for me. Even though it was scary. Even though everyone was watching. You picked me. I stopped chopping vegetables. Looked at her. I'll always pick you, Lily. Every single time, no matter who's watching. She smiled. Went back to her math homework. I went back to making dinner. And I thought about that moment at the wedding. The marker, the 200 people, the silence. The look on Lily's face when she realized I was finally fighting for her. Yeah, I made a scene. Yeah, I probably traumatized half the guests. Yeah, I became the villain in Karen's story, in Sarah's story, in half the family's story. But in Lily's story, in my daughter's story, I became the father who finally chose her over peace, who chose her safety over family harmony, who chose her dignity over my comfort. And I'd do it again. Every single time. Because that's what she deserved from the beginning. That's what every kid deserves. Someone who picks them. Someone who fights for them. Someone who says enough when enough is enough. I just wish I'd said it sooner. But at least I said it. And 3 years later, my daughter knows beyond any doubt that she matters more than anything else in this world. That's not redemption for my failure to act sooner. But it's something. It's a start.